Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a dynamic effort lower day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Alright, so for speed boxes today, we went with the safety squat bar on a box squat with just over 100 pounds of chains. Yes, that's a lot of chain weight, and I got them tuned maybe a hair too high. Notice they swing a little bit when I walk out. Made it slightly unstable, but you know what, that's okay. I don't mind. So we ended up doing 10 doubles with these. And you guys know I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this bar. I love what this bar does in training. I hate using it. It makes me fight so hard for breath. Everything else, of course, I've gotten to where, decently strong on this bar. I think the most you guys have seen me squat with this bar to depth is, I think like 521, I believe. 526, something like that. I need to go check my records, but it was in the 520s where I actually hit depth on a back squat with this bar back when I was bulking. Now that I'm a little leaner and cutting still, maybe not. But let's set that as a goal. Let's set that as a goal. Let's get this bar back above 500 on a back squat. That would be good. I think last time I did it really narrow stance though, and I got 471 on camera recently, shortly before my last meet, but that was really narrow stance. We know I've got a lot of glute muscle, a lot of hip muscle, things like that. So it might be a bit better, obviously wider stance. I'm doing all my squatting wider stance now. I've decided it's really the way to go. Just seems to be better overall. So I'm sticking with the wide stance for now. And I'm not doing these boxes ultra wide. Okay, a lot of times I like to do box squats with the toes all the way out, like to where they're underneath those beams. That's why I like an open base rack. But right now I'm going about with my competition squat stance. All right, we've got this box just below parallel. I've checked it from the side. It's just a hair below, so it's a meet legal depth. A lot of people would tell me you shouldn't box that low. I have good friends who do conjugate who are like, I don't think you need a box squat as low as you do. I'm like, well, I think I do because I'm a raw lifter. I don't even use knee wraps. I may not even be using sleeves moving forward in competition. I broke my last state record here earlier this month for my master's class, Texas record. I broke it without sleeves. Okay. So I think we're good to go there. Plus, I've done over 500 squats without sleeves to depth. Not counting that stuff when I was bulked up really heavier, a couple years back where I hit those high 600s and stuff. But those were high, right? I don't mean in the 600 time, I mean 605 above depth. I really have to focus on keeping that depth good, which is why all my work needs to be parallel or lower, anything that's a squat position. Speaking of which, I'm continuing to do that on the belt squats. I'm trying to keep them deep, and I haven't looked at the depth on the footage yet. I threw it in here, shortened it a little bit, haven't actually looked. This will be my first time seeing it because I went for 5s. Oh, there we go. We're good. We're well below parallel. We're taking these pretty deep using that same wide stance. Okay. So I need to build the musculature for that. And yeah, I'm doing 5s. You know why? It feels easier on my knees. The belt squats, that's the thing I've noticed. It seems to, if I'm not careful, it really starts to inflame my quad tendons. And I think the really high reps tend to do that. Well, not really high, even 10s. And I don't think that I need the higher reps right now for my quads. I'm just going to focus on mechanical tension, using all that to build stuff. Of course, we're getting the speed boxes in. We're getting those in with a heavier weights doing 5s. But I do sled work, right? I've been pushing my prowler at least 3 days a week right now. I get out there and push that prowler. Okay, that is volume. Okay, there's my rep work. So if that's the case, I just need to get really, really strong at these belt squats without compromising range of motion. I need to be doing them full range of motion, but I want to get some heavy weight. It just feels easier on my tendons. Feels easier on my tendons. I know people are going to be like, well, hurts the tendons even on the growth hormone? Yeah. And I'm not saying it's really painful. It's definitely uncomfortable, and it's worth noting. And I've noticed I don't get it when I go heavier. We're not getting that. So I need to really build my training around those things. And, I've seen, again, Dave Tate make the case for a lot of our supplemental work, particularly some of the bigger movements. He's like, maybe you shouldn't be doing high reps on it. Save that for the really small stuff. Because again, less bending of the joint, particularly the knee, less bends of the knee. If I can maximize quad development with these deeper positions with the fewest bends of the knee possible, see where we're going with that, less wear and tear on the joints. So that's what we're going to do for a little bit. And I may go back to the 10s, but I think I definitely need some workouts where I do the 5s. It just feels better. Just feels better. And before people say, well, cardio and in shape, these are all supersetted. So there's no cardio issue here. I just did 30-second breaks on the speed squats. I do GPP and conditioning work 7 days a week. Okay, I'm in shape. I'm working on getting in better shape. It could improve, but it's only going to improve by doing it. But that's the first time I've done more than one set with the blue band. I did all 3 sets with that blue band on the glute ham raises, supersetted with those heavier belt squats back and forth. Felt pretty good. Now, in between my reverse hypers, I managed to do the hanging leg raises. Again, superset some stuff. Just get it done. And for those curious, how quick did we get this done? This was a 45-minute workout. I know people are like, you used to take all day. I did. Now I'm realizing for recovery purposes, I need to just get the work density really high. I superset a lot of antagonistic muscle groups, superset these things, and just get out. Ideally, I want my workouts to be done inside of an hour. If they go over, they go over. This one was done in 45 minutes, and I took a 5-minute chat break right after the speed work before I went and did the other stuff. So again, good workflow, got everything done quick, and it might have been longer than a 5-minute chat. I don't know, because I really don't think it took 35 minutes to do the last 4 exercises, not with the supersets. So it might have been longer. But from the time I started the speed squats, the first real work set, till I finished the last set of reverse hypers, 45 minutes. Now, keeping in mind, I did 30 minutes of weight vest walking earlier this morning, carved up in between, took a break, did some work, ate, came in and did this. May do some sled work later today. Probably, as long as it's not raining on me. I'll probably work in a little bit of sled work. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Right? Wouldn't be a bad idea at all. So what do we do here? 5 by 10 at 50% squat on the reverse hyper, trying to get the longer range of motion now. Instead of just chasing big numbers on this, I'm trying to get the good range of motion, getting that squeeze at the top. I want to feel it a little bit. Obviously, I'm not stopping because you can't. I want to feel that. So I'm trying to get my legs up as high as I can on this. Means I've reduced down to, again, west side type percentages instead of chasing the big numbers, because you guys have seen me do, while swinging and everything, I guess, at this point, and maybe not hitting the top well, 630 for 15. We're all the way down at 250 for 10s, trying to focus on range of motion, quality movements, using it restoratively, okay, to at least build the low back, restore the low back. It's working the whole posterior chain still, though. But I'm letting the good mornings and the glute ham raises build the hamstrings and stuff. We're getting heavier on the good mornings, which I think for now I'm mostly going to do on max effort days. Right, it's a second heavier lift, but that's going to build my hamstrings. Glute ham raises, especially glute ham raises with bands, those will build the hamstrings. So I'm not as reliant on the reverse hyper at the moment to build tons of muscle, although it will build muscle. I want to use it for restoration. I want to use it for low back. The other movements can handle most of the posterior chain development. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.